Hey everyone, it's Jill from Today's Creative Food. I'm so glad that you have joined me today. Have you ever had someone say, I don't eat vegetables? Or they don't like vegetables, especially kids? Well, I'm going to show you today how to roast vegetables that are so delicious that no one will ever say, I don't eat vegetables, I don't like vegetables. So let's get started right now. Do you guys know the difference between vegetables and fruit? Raise your hand if you know. Well, let me tell you what it is. So fruits are actually a few things. One is they usually grow on trees or on a vine, but they also come from a flower. They're pollinated. You'll see a flower and they bloom into something. And most often we think of fruits as being sweet, like apples, plums, peaches. Also, they have a seed, right? If you open them up. So let me ask you, is an avocado a vegetable or a fruit? You're right, it's a fruit because it has that big seed and it grows on a tree. So yeah, avocados, but people think of them as vegetables because they're not sweet. So some people think of actual fruits as vegetables because they think of them as savory and not sweet. Now, what is a vegetable? A vegetable is usually part of a leaf, a root, or a stem. Like celery are actually stems. And this broccoli is a beautiful root that comes up. Also, a leaf. And then like potatoes come from a root. You find them actually in the ground. What's another vegetable that we find in the ground? Bunnies like them. Right, carrots, exactly. So if you cut into something you buy in the produce section and you think it might be a vegetable, but you cut into it and you see there's some seeds, that's actually a fruit. So this is actually a red pepper. And I don't know if you guys know, but when you go to the grocery store and you see all the peppers, you see green, orange, red, yellow, actually it's all the same pepper. It's just how long they've been on the vine. The green ones are usually a little bit cheaper because they pick those before they turn yellow, orange, or yellow. Red, orange, or yellow. It's kind of like the rainbow in a way. Yeah, it's a rainbow of fruits. Okay, so each one of these vegetables has nutrients for our body. So I'm going to show you how to cut them properly and then how we're going to roast them. So let's get started. Let's start with the red pepper. Now, parents, if you're comfortable with your kids holding a knife, I would really encourage you to find a knife that is a safety knife, like this, where it doesn't cut. Actually, this knife you might have to use, I'm going to use these on the onions, but this is what a parent would use. This is a sharp knife. So I'm just going to take my more dull knife, and you can already see there's seeds in there. That means that it is a fruit. So I'm going to take the seeds, and I always have a dump bowl because you want to make sure you dump this stuff because you don't want that in. I'm going to go pretty fast because I don't want you guys having to sit here the whole time, but actually save this. This is really good to munch on. You can put on a salad. So I'm going to take a little bit of a sharp knife here, and I'm just going to cut. Now, and you can see I'm using kind of my nails to go underneath and kind of keep it away from the blade. And then I'm just going to bunch it together and then cut into small little squares. I'm going to set the rest of these aside. I'm going to do these later. And you're going to want to put these in a pan. And you want to turn your oven on to 400 degrees. Why such a hot oven? Because we want to make sure that they go in really hot, because then that's when they start to release all of the yummy flavor, and that's what makes them taste so good. When you go to a restaurant and you ask for roasted vegetables, that's what they're doing. They're putting it into a hot oven. I've actually seen them put it into a pizza oven. All right, potatoes. Now potatoes, normally when you try to cut them, they're really, really tough, and you always want to make sure your hands are dry. But what I always do before I do this is I put these in the microwave for about 3 minutes, and that makes them a little bit softer for me to cut. And I like to keep the skins on my potatoes because that's where a lot of the nutrients are, and we want those nutrients to go into our bodies to make us feel better. When you are sick, one of the things that makes people feel better is vegetable soup. Did you guys know that? Yeah, because it's the broth that comes from the vegetables that actually settle your stomach and make you feel really, really good. So we're just gonna cut these potatoes. These are red potatoes. These are really, really yummy. We're gonna stick those in. I'm gonna set this one. Now here, again, I'm gonna dry my hands because I always wanna make sure that my hands are dry. So let's look at an onion. Let's cut into it in the middle and see if we see a seed. Do you guys see a seed in there? No. So that means that it is a vegetable. Just gonna cut down here. Now, if you're someone that cries when you're cutting an onion, I don't cry because I wear contacts, so it protects my eyes, which is kind of a benefit of wearing contacts. But if you don't wear contacts and you cry when you cut onions because of the spray going into your eyes, then go ahead and turn some water on next to where you're cutting. And actually, usually, oftentimes the water will absorb that spray and not make it come. Now, I like chunky onions. Grilled onions are like my favorite thing in the whole wide world. If you like grilled onions. Actually, when I go to In-N-Out Burger, I always ask for grilled onions on my hamburger. Have you guys ever done that? Yeah, it's so super good. See how I'm drying my hands every single time. Okay, this is a squash. I'm gonna cut down here. We are very careful, and you're gonna see something in the middle. Do you guys see what's in the middle? Do you see these tiny little seed marks? That means it's a vegetable. Actually, the squash comes from the pumpkin family, and a lot of people think that pumpkins are vegetables, but actually, it's a fruit. Have you guys ever had zucchini? So zucchini is the brother of yellow squash. They're related. They grew up in the same family. Did you know that? All right, we're just gonna cut these off. Now, if you get produce from the store, you can pick it out with your parents, and then when you get home, before you actually make your food, you want to wash them off, okay? Even if it's organic. Now, this is a leafy vegetable, and we're just going to cut these off. Now, what I usually do with broccoli is I just pull the seeds off. And this is a fun job to give the kids in the family to do, that they're in charge of picking up all the little florets. Did we see any seeds? No, this is actually a vegetable. So I'm just gonna cut this off. Now you can cut these to be smaller, but I actually like the roasted when it's all done like that. Okay, now that we have all of our vegetables, I'm gonna clean this off a little bit. Now it's time to make them taste amazing. Are you guys ready? Okay. So what you do is you pick your oil first. See how beautiful that is? Yum, yum, yum. You pick your oil. Do not use extra virgin olive oil because extra virgin olive oil does not do well with heat over 350 degrees. And what temperature did I tell you to put it in? 400, right? So then it's gonna get this burning effect and it's going to ruin your vegetables. So the best one is avocado oil or canola oil, okay? So I'm just gonna use canola oil right now. I'm just going to oil it a little bit. Just pour a little bit over. And that's just gonna oil it. What's gonna do, it's gonna kind of make it heat up the vegetables and create that flavor. Now this is the fun part. You get to choose how you want your vegetables to taste. Now one of my favorite things is just to put sea salt on it and just bake it like that. But I've been trying, have you ever seen this? This new thing is called Everything But the Bagel seasoning. So you can actually sprinkle that. I'm gonna do this on this side. Yum, yum. It has everything that you would normally see. Also, some parents and kids are loving turmeric. So what you do is you sprinkle turmeric. Turmeric is so good for you. It actually thins your blood and actually makes you feel better. If you have a headache, eat vegetables with, but you do have to add pepper because it actually activates the turmeric. Now this is something you can do, is just find some different flavorings and actually put them. But what if you're a vegetarian and you don't eat meat, right? What do? You can buy different packets. This is called fajita seasoning. So I'm going to make a fajita vegetable roll-up. So I'm just gonna take the thing, I'm going to sprinkle it on, and then we're going to mix it all together. When it's all cooked, I'm gonna roll it into a warm tortilla, and then I have my fajita burrito. So now what you're gonna do is you're just gonna mix this all together. We're gonna stick it in the oven at 400 degrees, probably about 30 minutes. You really wanna get these hot, okay? Make sure your parents are opening the oven, make sure your parents are taking it out, and then once they're all cooked, they're going to taste amazing. I'm gonna put these in the oven, then I'm going to take a photograph of what it looks like when they come out of the oven. Please comment below, let me know exactly how your vegetables turned out and what your favorite vegetables are. We will see you next time. Thank you so much for joining me today.